Shemai friendly eye and welcome back to my channel. My name's Caitlin Anwyn for anyone who's new here, and let's get back into building Planet Zoo. I'm continuing in the North American Taiga Zoo, and this is going to be the first habitat for the winter side of the zoo, as you can tell from all of the lovely snow. And the Arctic foxes are going to be in this first habitat. And to get some inspiration on what to build for the Arctic foxes, I had a look at their fun facts. And one of the fun facts for the Arctic foxes is that they are the only land mammal found in Iceland. I went to Iceland for my 21st birthday, which is 5 years ago now. And I thought because the Arctic foxes are found in Iceland and they're the only land mammal found in Iceland, I thought I would build the habitat inspired by one of the excursions I went on when I went to Iceland. And one of my favourite things, other than seeing the Northern Lights, which is just ridiculously special, as you can probably tell, like it is absolutely beautiful, but I really enjoyed this trip on, I think it was a 4x4 adventure thing, and the truck thing that we were taken in drove us over a glacier, which I get really travel sick, was not the most smoothest of rides. At the end of that bumpy ride, we got to explore inside a cave in the glacier. And the place itself is called Into the Glacier, and that's what this whole habitat is going to be inspired by. So I wanted the guests to have the same sort of experience I did when I walked through the glacier caves, I think they're called. It was fully like underneath the glacier, like you walk into it. So the name for the place is very apt. You do literally go into the glacier, and I wanted to kind of simulate that for the guests. I wanted the effect to feel like you are inside this glacier, and the habitat is then like the windows carved into the glacier, and the wall pieces on their own lining the pathway was not it. I had this concept in mind, and I started getting a little worried when I built the walls because it was just not what I was thinking of. I had a real image in my mind. I wasn't just looking at images and trying to replicate an image. I had been there, so I had this real image in my mind, and that kind of made it a bit harder for me because this was not coming out anything like how I thought it would turn out. But there's just a lot of white. The animal is white, there's snow everywhere, and then I was building white snowy walls. And to make matters worse, I didn't really like how the rock looked in this cave. The guests could see the snow like on their wall, but when they looked into the habitat, it was mainly just rock from the mountain. But I wanted to make this look more like an actual glacier rather than just rocks. I think the snow wall, or like lining the wall with those rocks and like going with all of the curves, makes it really feel like it is a cutout of the glacier. But it didn't help with the whole I'm stressed about this being really white. I like colour, I like brightness. You wouldn't, well, maybe you could guess with what I look like because I have like purple in my background. I've got pinkish hair at the moment, but I'm wearing black and grey. And I'm actually wearing this because I wore this cardigan in Iceland, so I wanted to wear a little part of Iceland today too. And this isn't exactly a bright colour or anything, but it does fix my worry for the sameness. That is the grey lines that you see in the glacier. The guide explained to us that the grey lines were from volcanic eruptions. The lines that you see in the glacial walls are the ash settlement on the ice, and then as it snows and there's more like ice on top, it creates this grey line. And I tried to make sure that the lines lined up with each other across the walls, even as it was getting like higher and lower. Duplicating them using the advanced duplication tool helped me keep all of the lines in line with each other, so it does actually look like the volcanic ash has stayed in one level. So as you're walking down, you've got the line that joins up, but because the wall goes down, I've had to like higher and lower the lines of rock to show the volcanic ash. I really love these Arctic foxes, and I'm really enjoying building in this North American Zoo. This is so fun, but I'm just not a very festive, Christmassy person, so I think I'm gonna have to find a way of getting into the festive spirit. And I thought to tie in the snow wall with the glass barrier, I covered the barrier's supports with a thin snow rock, and then I topped it off with the thicker snow rocks to match it in with the glacial wall. So it kind of feels like the habitat barriers are just windows into the glacier. But when I was looking at my own pictures from going into the glacier, there were lights on the floor causing the ice to glow, kind of like how I do the purple down here. Finally, I found something that can bring a little bit of colour into this habitat. Yes, and it goes really nicely in with the whole colour scheme of the zoo for the winter part anyway, icy blue and white. So I just followed the pathway curve using the advanced move tool, so keeping them all in line together. They do look like they all join up then, and this is actually quite soothing. It's really repetitive, but it's like those mindful games that I've been recommended too much. It's very simple, but it's quite soothing because you don't need a lot of like brain power to actually like complete the tasks. It doesn't really take a lot of concentration, so it was really like relaxing doing this. And the education boards that I'm using are the North Pole Education Small by Evan, and I thought these were really pretty. I got to recolor them a little bit and have a little hint of the blue from the color scheme as well, and I kind of blocked off certain parts of the glass as well, so it split it up a little bit more. And I like the light effect on the wall so much, I thought I would line just on the inside of the habitat barriers, and that was just to illuminate a little bit more of the habitat and kind of get the snow to look a bit icier, so it's not fully snowy white. For the sign, I'm using Ricey's font. Again, I use that a lot because it's a really good size for smaller signs. It's like half the size of the regular Planet Zoo font. And if you are using a custom font like this and you having trouble like lining up the letters to the sign you're building, wherever you want to put your letters, always place the blueprint down and don't rotate it. If you place it down straight away, it is aligned to the world axis. And whatever you're building, make sure that is also aligned to the world axis. An easy way of doing that is just placing it down without rotating it. So that'll make it a lot easier to place the letters onto whatever you want to build, like this sign. It's just easier to place it down, because if you do have a group of objects into that letter that are rotated, you can then select the button that says toggle from relative to world axis, which will then allow you to move it using advanced move tool in a straight line. Always like group the objects together to create the letter if that's not already done for the blueprint, and duplicate them, don't move them, so you can always have a spare letter just in case. And for the sign, I wanted something icy that would stand out kind of against all of the snow rocks, and I looked at the icicles. I thought they were cute, but they didn't fit that well around the lettering. But this education board frame fit so nice, and I just put the animal sign for the Arctic fox in the background, so it looked like it was looking at the words. So it was just so cute. The blue in the Arctic fox sign went with the icy frame as well, and I just did, the background was like a slightly bluey off-white then as well. And to move it all together, select all the pieces and merge scenery into group, so all the letters then are together in that one piece. And I was having a chat with my mum about this habitat, and we were reminiscing about going to Iceland, and my mum actually asked whether I was going to do a geyser or a geyser, and I should really remember which way I'm supposed to say that, because on the trip to see the Geyser, the tour guides helped us pronounce it so many times, yet now 5 years later I can't remember which way around it is. And with all effects, I would always recommend grouping them together so they're easily found again and you don't lose the little black nodules. Of course I made a little water puddle because it doesn't really make sense for this water effect to be coming out of snow, but I didn't want it to just be a puddle of water with this effect coming out of it. So I thought I would grab these icy rocks. I don't really like the look of these, but they give a good differentiation from the snow around the whole habitat and like the glacier's walls. But yeah, I'm just trying to hide the fact that there's water there using the rocks, but also trying to show that there's water there at the same time. Because what I wanted to do was make this look like the geyser was breaking out of the ice, because that's kind of what it looks like in real life. You do see like ice and snow over the ground, and then there is like a more melted part because this is created by geothermal stuff. I'm not smart enough to talk about that. And that's not me putting it myself down or anything. I really don't quite grasp that. But Iceland has a lot of geothermal energy from the volcanoes that are around the country. There's a lot of geothermal energy. They're really good with using a lot of renewable energy in Iceland as well, which is a good theme for Planet Zoo because this game does encourage using a lot of renewable energy. In this zoo we're using wind power to power the whole zoo. No transformers in my zoo, so it all fits in really nicely. But there's the 4x4 adventure truck. I just park that somewhere on the glacier because that's just what happened. I'll try and find a photo. I don't want to include my mum in this because my mum did not sign up for being on the internet. I did, my mum did not, so you'll see 21-year-old me with really short hair, but I will add in some images to show what I'm actually talking about as well. I did concentrate a lot on the view from the pathway, so like the guest's view of the glacier habitat. The foxes now live in a habitat that's really realistic for me. It hasn't really got like a wacky theme to this one. This is really realistic for me. I'm quite impressed. Like Arctic foxes would live in this sort of environment. There wouldn't be a lot of plant life, anything like that. But the main theme for this one is the guest's experience walking through the glacier tunnels and then looking into this glacial cave where the Arctic foxes live. And I like the lights so much on the edge of the path and on the edge of the barrier that I wanted to put it right at the back as well to show the glacier a little bit more at the back of the habitat too. I just really like this. I like that the start of this like wintry zoo isn't going to be massively themed around like the holidays. Like I don't want it massively like Christmas and holidays because I know not everyone celebrates and I'm not the biggest fan of it. But if you have any like festive ideas for any Arctic sort of animals, I know the Arctic fox is from the North America Animals pack, but any of the Arctic pack animals, I'd like to do some habitats for them too. If you have any suggestions like animals you'd like me to build habitats for, any ideas for the habitats, like festive themes. I don't know. I don't have a lot of ideas anyway, so I would love some of your input if you have any ideas. But yeah, I'm gonna finish it off there with some Pretties, with the foxes exploring their glacial habitat. If you enjoyed this habitat build, smash that like button, and if you haven't already and you would like to, it would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe and hit the bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I upload on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and I don't need to explain what game I'm going to be playing anymore because I finished Life is Strange. Oh no. Oh shit. What am I doing? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. 300 odd videos on this channel, yet somehow I still manage to forget my outro every now and again. At least I remember the Shemai at the start, right?